So think about Nesto because interviewed Jimmy Jenkins and he was like, "Man, Nesto was going to be our Ricky Martin." What did
Yeah.
you think about, Stevie's talked about the album. Did you think this was going to be big when you were working with him and doing these songs?
Um, I definitely knew that there was a market for him being a Latino. I didn't realize how big that market was at the time.
Mm,
I think that they were definitely ahead of their time. It was kind of more like a a hindsight type of thing, like once Selena and Ricky Martin and
mm,
the Barrio Brothers, all of that was so huge. It's like, yo, Rick Gitron and then we were on to something with Ness. But Nesto was, as you said, was Sheldon. He was very green. He was very new. He had never been around nothing. So they used to take advantage of Ness and me and my cousin Andre being children of season. We'd be like, now I mind you, Uptown has hired us, but we'd be telling Ness like, nah, you supposed to such and such and such. I remember one time Nestor got mad at me because of something I don't remember, and he was getting ready to leave. I was like, "You never leave your session. You're paying me. If anything, you should tell me to leave." So, like, even though we were beefing, I'm like, "Nah, you don't leave your session. You paying me." He didn't know anything like about the business. He was real green, real good-hearted guy, and
wow.
they took advantage of him a lot.
So what do you think went wrong that he didn't come out with the album since, we've heard some of the songs. Did you ever find out?
I mean, the budget, that much money that was spent on Nesto's album, I don't know whether it was a oh, we gonna write this off type of thing. I don't know because he had good stuff. I think it was a mixture of it could have been a write off, we take it or leave it type of thing. And then also because there was no other than like what Udo, which they
Menudo.
were like specific, they weren't like trying to sell to a black market, soul, hip hop, R&B or whatever. They didn't really maybe know how to market Ness or whatever. But I do think that they were onto something with him if they would have
Yeah,
stuck with it.
back then they didn't have a blueprint for a male. All you had were like the female freestyle artists, the Lisette Melendez's and people like that. That used to be on Fever Records, all the freestyle
Mm-hmm.
female singers. So you didn't have a male reference, which is probably why they weren't forward thinking in terms of trying to move forward with putting them out, like you just
Right.
said. Yeah.
They
I,
didn't
Yeah.
have
I
a
I
reference.
heard a reason why. It was something to do with the production deal that Nesto had with Notorious B.I.G. And I think the
Say,
whole
say what
Notorious,
again?
he had a production deal. I think it was signed through with Notorious B.I.G. And that whole deal ended up going to Arista, and it just his album just
Nesto?
yeah, yeah. I'm sure there was. I heard he was signed something.
Nesto was signed to Rick Gidron.
So it's nothing to do with Notorious B.I.G. That's what I heard anyway. No.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
All right.
Uh, Biggie came around to Uptown maybe 2 years after all of that. I mean, he was around. He was an artist on Uptown with Nesto, but at the time, Biggie hadn't even done Party and Bullshit yet. He was nobody. He was just coming up to the label just like every other artist hanging out up there. Nesto was like one of the first ones after I would say Mary's project that they worked on like diligently. They Puffy was, I mean, Big wasn't even on the radar. I remember when Biggie first started coming around Uptown.
When you said you was in the studio at the time, you said in another studio was the three boys from Newark.
Mm-hmm.
I know that at the time they was working with Christopher Williams. They did some tracks with Christopher Williams. Was Faith
Mm-hmm.
Evans around
Yeah.
at the time?
She wasn't around yet, but she was around because Kayama is her eldest daughter's father. Actually, Kayama and I have worked on a few songs together this year. That's
Well,
not
this
the
is
dope.
this is another. I'm trying to piece together because Faith recorded a bunch of demos with the Three Boys from Newark before. This was way before She worked with
This
Puffy.
was around that time.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say, did you know about them? Did you even sing on them tracks?
I didn't sing on any tracks back then with them, but I knew about them. I knew Faith. Like I said, we were all working in, I want to say, was it called Giant? It was some studio downtown on Broadway that we were all working at. And so Three Boys from Newark would be there, Khayyam. That's how I met all of them. Khayyam, Faith, Ike Lee. And they were like buzzing at the time. They were dope, you know.
When did you record? When did you record "Loving You"? Then was that 92 or 93? Because it came out in 93. Yeah, your soundtrack record.
That's the I did not like that song. I'm sorry because I know y'all Jack Swing lovers, but I did not like that song at all.
Wow.
That was more of a political thing. I did that. We recorded that in 92. 92.
And do you not even like the jazz version that came out of it?
I like the jazz version, and I like the
done.
R&B version that Corey Rooney did. I did not like the original version because I felt like I knew, you know, okay, hey, hip hop, Pete Rock sample, but it just felt too contrived to me, and it wasn't me. You know, like it was not me. Because I'm a writer, I was able to write to it and that, but that I never liked it. I liked the jazz version that Corey Rooney did. And
who did the original one then? Who produced the original?
Me, Kevin McDaniels, and I can't remember. Some new guys.
Got the credits here. Hold on.
Don't believe all of that because they said James Jones wrote the song and he didn't write it. It was me.
Randy Fuller. It says produced by Randy Fuller and Kevin McDaniel.
Yes, Kevin McDaniel. Right? Yeah.
He says it's wrote by you and James Earl Jones.
James didn't write that song. Okay. He ain't write one word. He ain't get in there. He ain't never got no publishing check for it. So back in the day, you would deal with that type of bullshit too. Whereas, okay, you know, I'm not the artist where you're gonna take my publishing because I'm not her. I was a little bit too seasoned for that. I was already signed to a publishing deal at that point. But if you know the game, you know all you got to do. If you put your name down on a song, then that's who they're calling for the next job. Okay. So even that had value in it. So you go into the A&R person and you putting down that you wrote, even though you're not getting any publishing, people, you're able to go get work from that.
Okay,
but
that makes sense.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. After the fact. Oh, no, we didn't mean it. Yes, you did. Just like they put Crystal. I was so mad about that whole Who's the Man project. Like Mary was out. Of course, you're gonna compete, you know, they try to make y'all competitive, even though we're two different type of artists. I never felt like we were in the same. I never felt like she was my competition. I never felt like we was in the same category. But it's natural if we're both females signed to the same label for people to try to, you know, compare or whatever. And then you put me out, when they put the credits out, Crystal J. Johnson. I never said put Crystal J. Johnson. The reason why that was done, at first I was like, you know, why y'all trying to make me Mary J. Blige, Crystal J. Johnson? There was a Crystal Johnson that worked at Uptown. And I guess she wanted people, she took it upon, because she was the same person. And we real cool too, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's real cool. But I guess she wanted people to know that it wasn't her. Like, who else? Why did you put that middle initial there? So now it makes it seem like I'm trying
Mary
to
J. Okay.
Mary J. Blige. But it really had to do with the fact that it was a Crystal Johnson that worked at Uptown and Crystal Johnson that was an artist. And I guess, I'm not going to say she did it, but somebody wanted to make the distinction of the two. And never considered the fact, like, that's why you never see anything else. Nothing else that I've ever done has that initial, because that was not co-signed by me.
So when you talk about
the record got you out there though, because everyone was talking about you.
I'm just saying in terms of that, just the initial thing.
Yeah.
That, like,
but when that soundtrack dropped and we heard "Loving You," all the fans of hip hop soul, New Jack, were talking about you. I remember there was a guy over here, he was a producer, he was working with MCA in London, a guy called Johnny J. And he was saying to, like, I remember him saying to me, what's hot at the moment, who's hot in America? And I said to him, does this girl just come out on Uptown called Crystal J. Johnson. And he goes, I can get anything from MCA to remix or do something with. And I says, go after this girl. I didn't know who you were.
Mm-hmm.
On that, like you say, that got you out there. Whether you like the record or not, it got.
No, I mean, I definitely, but
there.
not so much here in the States, though. I get more people to talk about Loving You from London and the UK than
got
here.
Played a lot. That record got played a lot over here.
Not here.
Wow.
Not here. Not here. It was just an album cut.
Yeah.
So when did you record Unfaithful then?
Dang. Unfaithful. I did that with Mark Spark.
Was that around the same time? Was this all being recorded for Uptown? And
this was all like 92, 93. So
was this all supposed to be going towards an Uptown album?
Yeah.
I figured so.
Yeah.
That again, it's a great record.
Yeah. But they didn't.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between
us, or even loving us,
on which I did miss you really.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No, okay.
they don't understand what Jodeci's voice winning Oscars.
Play it.
And all these guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different genres.